These are the plays that are going to make you the most money today. This is the Daily Profit brought to you by Linemaker Sports. On today's show, I'm going to give you guys one of the MLB plays for today. MLB just started opening week. We're going to break down some stuff when it comes down to it. But first, we're going to discuss what happened over the weekend, and I think you guys are going to like the results. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let's talk about the last couple days for this weekend. All right, we had a ton of plays over the weekend because, like I said, MLB's back. We had NASCAR, we had UFC, we had a bunch of stuff going on in the NBA. But let's go ahead and discuss what happened here. All right, on Saturday in the UFC, we had Medina versus Gauthier to not go the distance. That ended in the first round, so that was an easy winner there. Then we had Miller to go under 2.5 earned runs. He ended up giving up that third earned run in his last pretty much out in, I think it was the sixth inning. So he ended up not getting that for us. All right, so we ended up taking an L on that one. Then we went to the Yankees that morning, over 7.5, where, I don't know, they busted out those new bats, those torpedo bats, and this was over in the first inning pretty much. They scored over that in the first inning, so that one was an easy win. Then we go to yesterday. Yesterday we had Reinhardt for the Florida Panthers. We had him to go over 0.5 points. He ended up hitting that one pretty easily. Then we had Kyle Connor to go over 0.5 points. He hit that one, I think, in the first period, if I'm not mistaken on that one. Then Dylan Strom for the Capitals. Same thing here in the first period. He ended up hitting that one. Then we went to Evan Mobley to go under 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This one was pretty close because the start of the third quarter, he had 33 points, rebounds, and assists, but he did not get nothing in the fourth quarter. So luckily that held on for us, and we ended up hitting that one. Then we had Giannis to go over 45 plus points, rebounds, and assists. He ended up getting exactly 45 there, so we ended up winning that by the hook. All right, so we got that. Then we had Mike Trout to go over 0.5 hits. His first at bat, he ended up getting a nice hit for us there. Then Bobby Witt Jr., we had to go over 0.5 hits. This took his last at bat to get this. All right, he walked once and then he was 0 for 2. His last at bat, he finally hit a single and got us the win there. Then we've got Toyota to win in NASCAR, and Denny Hamlin ended up winning there, so we ended up cashing that one as well. So over the weekend, solid. All right, can't really ask for too much more than that. We barely lost this Miller play here. Like I said, down to pretty much his last out, he ended up giving up a run. But overall, a fantastic weekend. All right, like I said, guys, if you guys want to be a part of this stuff and you guys want the software that produces these type of winners, and this is the type of weekends that you want rather than just donating your money, make sure you guys click the link down in the description, because I'm not playing, guys. This stuff is groundbreaking when it comes to sports betting, and has been for the last couple years. All right, so if you guys want to be a part of it, you guys want to learn how to analyze all this stuff as well, make sure you click the link in the description. It's very important. And if you are on the winning team, make sure you guys are commenting down below. Let everybody know what we're doing over here and how we're changing the game of sports betting, because that's what it's coming down to. All right, we are going to disrupt the sports betting industry, and it's only going to keep getting better and better and better. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into today's play in the MLB, and let's discuss a little bit about how we're going to attack this. All right, so the prop that we're going to look at here is going to be a runs scored under prop. Okay, so what it's going to look like is it's going to have the player's name. It's going to say runs. It's going to say over 0.5 or under 0.5. We're looking at the under. Okay, that's what we're looking at here. Now the player is going to be for the Atlanta Braves, and it's going to be Orlando RCS. All right, he's going against Tyler Glasnow, and he bats. He has 7 ABs against against Tyler Glasnow, and all right, we'll put that down. 7 ABs. He's batting 143. All right, so that's pretty bad. He's pretty much 1 for 7 all time against Tyler Glasnow. So what we're doing here is we're trying to get this player to go under and not cross the plate. Okay, even if he gets a hit, it's okay. We just don't want him to cross the plate. If he doesn't cross the plate, we end up winning this play. Now, right now, this has a 70% probability of happening. All right, for him to not cross the plate. So we're probably going to get at least 3 at-bats here of these two. Now, another thing that's good is he's batting at the bottom of the lineup. Okay, so what this means as well is he'll get 3 at-bats against Glasnow, but possibly if the game turns, gets out of hand or whatnot, he might not get a 4th AB, and maybe they'll pinch hit him, all right, and they'll bring somebody else in. So sometimes this happens with the bottom of the lineup, and we get lucky, and there's only 3 at-bats that they go against each other here. But even if he does, we would need the bullpen to secure 1 at-bat against that. All right, that's the only downside to the under run scored prop when you're going against the pitcher is if the pitcher's pitching well, you should get 3 solid at-bats, and if they don't have good stats against each other, then, pretty much you should be able to slide through the first 3 at-bats there as long as he doesn't walk them. That's the only other issue as well, is if he walks them and gets them on base, he has a chance to come around and score. But if he doesn't walk them and he doesn't get a hit or nothing like that in the first 3 at-bats, then we should be safe. Now, going into the last at-bat, he's going against a bullpen, so you obviously want a decent bullpen as well, not a bullpen that's just going to allow a bunch of runs, because then you could be, vulnerable with that as well, which the Dodgers have a pretty decent bullpen as well to back that up. They would just need pretty much probably 1 out against him to be able to cash this bet. So remember, this is an under run scored prop, means that he can get on base, he can get a hit, he just cannot cross home plate. All right, I'll write that down. Home plate. We do not want him crossing home plate. All right. So as long as he doesn't cross home plate, we will be good with this play. Once again, Orlando RCS for the Atlanta Braves going against Tyler Glasnow to go under 0.5 runs scored. Now, where can you find this play at? Okay, there is a couple. Now, usually, like I said, we use FanDuel for a lot of stuff. This isn't usually on FanDuel, all right? This is usually on BetMGM, Caesars, William Hill. Those type of platforms usually have this type of play. So does DraftKings. DraftKings has it as well, all right? But there are certain sportsbooks that don't have this play. So like I said, you have to be able to search multiple sportsbooks. That's why you should have multiple sportsbooks if you have access to them. So make sure you guys have access to multiple sportsbooks so you could scrape through all the different type of prop plays that are there, especially for MLB season. You're going to need that because there is a ton of different stuff that you need to look at. All right? But like I said before, Atlanta's Orlando Arceus, first Tyler Glasnow, batting 143, 70% probability for him to not cross the plate. So that's what we're looking for. Now, again, if you guys want to fast forward through all this stuff and you want me to just give you the answers and teach you exactly how to do it, make sure you guys click the link down in the description so you can become a part of a winning team rather than being a part of a losing team, which is every other team that is out there. As always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports, and remember, if you know your edge, every bet becomes a winning opportunity.